Welcome to Talk Across America. I'm Doug Miles, and we're here in beautiful Sarasota, Florida. And joining us now on our book talk segment, we're going to talk to a man who's really written another interesting book. He's had a series of them out there, and this one is called The Disruptors, 50 People Who Changed the World. We're joined today by Alan Axelrod. Of course, you know his work from more than 100 books, including the Real History series, and he joined us by telephone today. And Alan, good to talk with you. How are you?
I'm great, and it's a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, good to have a chance to chat with you. I just looked at the note. I didn't write 100 books. That's impressive. Very, 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 you're always behind a computer, I imagine.
Maybe more than I should be.
We were very prolific, and that's a good thing in the publishing industry. Well, I had a chance to look through the book, and again, this is 50 people who changed the world, and you kind of break it down into different categories. First of all, what gave you the idea to do the book at this time?
Well, I have worked a good deal with business people and technologists and scientists, and have heard a great deal of discussion about innovation, and particularly the idea that was first articulated by a Harvard professor and business consultant named Clayton Christensen in a 1997 book called The Innovator's Dilemma. And in this book, he coins the phrase disruptive innovation, which he uses to describe anything that is new and that creates new markets and new relationships between businesses, but at the same time displaces old markets and existing companies and firms and even the products they make. So that the idea is that when you innovate, you usually, by definition almost, are disrupting the status quo, and that means making some other things obsolete. So it is destructive creativity or creative destruction, whichever way you want to look at it. And when we talk about, as we often do, the builders of civilization, what we really are talking about is people who tore down aspects of civilization to build new aspects of civilization. It's a much higher stakes kind of process, and a much messier process, and a much more interesting process.
Yeah, I think, and you have it in the book, so many people from that era, the turn of the last century, where so many things were invented. Of course, Henry Ford, and the invention of radio. You talk about Marconi and
Right.
And the technology there, which totally turned around everything, the way lifestyle is today as compared to then. And now we've seen it again the last 10 or 15 years with cell phones, computers, and all that. So I guess every, whatever it is, 80, 90 years, 100 years, this happens, right?
I suspect that, in fact, the nature of digital technology is such that we're going to see the cycle get much more compressed, and that these major disruptions will happen even more frequently, at even shorter intervals.
Let's talk about some of the different categories. Again, we're not talking just about the early 1900s, but you go way back, particularly in the religion philosophy section, to three people that everybody knows: Martin Luther, I think, but even going back further, Confucius. So they were definitely disruptors back then, weren't they?
Well, Confucius did, as I see it, nothing less than invent teaching. We don't think of, why would you have to invent teaching? I mean, it seems obvious. But Confucius really was the first, the writings of Confucius really are the first we have about the nature of conveying knowledge and developing knowledge and propagating knowledge. And the idea that you could do this and you should do this in a society had not really been expressed before. So I would count this as a very disruptive and creative step in civilization. As for Sun Tzu, who lived at about the same time as Confucius, about 500 years BC, invented, for all practical purposes, military strategy. And if you think about it, it's a really quite extraordinary idea, the idea that you can systematize strategically mass violence to achieve a desired end, to achieve victory. And he did this in a way that is still avidly read by military officers, military planners, but even more by business leaders. The Art of War is a bestseller. It's been a bestseller for a couple thousand years now. Martin Luther did nothing less than challenge the Catholic Church on several of its practices. He did not set out intending to displace the Catholic Church. He thought that he could create a model that would reform it. But when that church didn't reform, he created a whole parallel form of Christianity. And that, in turn, began to transform philosophy, began to transform politics, and enabled a whole series of wars and revolutions that have ultimately resulted in the world we have today.
And then bringing it up to more modern times, obviously, the revolution or disruption of technology, and you have three guys there that everybody has some part of their technology in their home. I would imagine Steve Jobs, of course, with the personal computer, Jeff Bezos with Amazon, and of course a controversial figure, Elon Musk with with the electric cars and going to space and all that. So these are three guys that Jobs is no longer with us, but the other two really continue to disrupt.
Absolutely, and if you think about what Jobs did with the personal computer, is that he is the one who really made it personal. Before Jobs introduced the Mac, the PC involved MS-DOS, a language that, if you remember, you really had to learn. You had to learn these rather complex keyboard commands and so forth. Jobs created and marketed a computer that adapted to you. Instead of the user having to serve the machine truly served the user. And what flowed from all that are all these products that are not computers in the traditional sense, but the smartphone, smartwatch, all of these very much more personal computing products. Jeff Bezos leveraged the possibilities of the internet and of digital technology, but in the process sort of knocked down the wall separating the digital realm from the physical realm, so that you can sit at your keyboard, find whatever you want, whatever kind of product in virtually any category you want, purchase it, and it will materialize at your porch, within a day or two. At some point, it may be dropped by a drone.
I was going to say, it could be a matter of minutes in the future. Right?
But there is virtually, and many of the products are simply downloaded, as in the Kindle books, for example. So they are delivered to you instantaneously. But what his disruption was is to make retail business frictionless, effortless. You don't have to get up. You don't have to get in your car, go to the mall, find a parking space, go look for the thing you want. You don't have to do any of that. You simply act, and it is done. It is about as close to magic and omnipotence as you can get. Elon Musk has been challenging everything, and at this point it will be interesting to see where he lands. A lot of what is going on with him wasn't going on when I wrote.
A little trouble with the SEC, right? Yeah. Well, I know we have limited time. We have to wrap it up.
Being a disruptor.
That's right. That's right. I know we have to wrap it up. We don't have much more time. But give out your website, Alan. It's a fascinating book, again, called The Disruptors, 50 People Who Changed the World, and Alan Axelrod has been our guest. Do you have a website, Alan?
What you can do is go to Amazon and type in my name and author page, and it will take you to everything that I've done that you can still find available.
Great. Alan, pleasure talking to you. Thanks for joining us. So hopefully we can talk again.
And to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you for joining us today on Talk Across America. Please visit our website at dougmilesmedia.com for more great interviews and content. And if you're interested in any of the books we talk about on the program, please click the Amazon link on our website. It helps support the podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again real soon here from beautiful Sarasota, Florida.
I'm Stan Brock. 30 years ago, I formed Remote Area Medical to help people overseas. But then we found generations of families in America isolated by poverty from the health care they need. Together, we can take dental, vision, and medical help to 1 million adults and their kids, right here at home in the United States of America.